Welcome back to Lihou Guernsey Shipwrecks. We're out on WW2's boat and we're going to look for a hurricane. This is probably going to be a long time in the past because I'm not allowed to do anything until everything's, you know, come out in the wash, as it were. But we're going to head out in that direction, that way, and try and have a look, see if we can find anything. Today with Phil Worry.
Let's go find a piece of history. I'll chuck all my bins and dinghy out, all right?
And there's Jen Worry, and there's WW2.
Well, that was a hanging rock, wooden. Yeah. And they, in the old days, they used to take the old, when they hang people, they used to take them out and hang them on the rock here. You should spirit off the island. That's what you want to be. Yeah.
It's in pretty close. It's in pretty close. The rock's behind you.
No, that's it.
Laddie's at the helm.
So let's get ready to dive. So we're looking for a Hurricane plane which was shot down in the Second World War. We're not sure where it is or what it's going to look like now, as the body was made out of fabric and wood. So is there just an engine left? Is there a cockpit left? Is there a hulk from the fuselage? We just don't know. So we're just going to start slowly swimming north to south in a grid-like pattern and see what we get. Tim Osborne approached Phil Worry and asked if he can have a look for this plane. We were more than happy to help out. It was all very short notice and all very hush hush, but anyway, that all adds to the mystery. We were explained this story, which was told to Tim, saying that a man in the 1960s used to free dive in this area, and he seen what he thought was a Spitfire on the seabed. This story tallies up sort of with a Hurricane that was lost, and a Bob Stirling had to ditch his plane into the sea, and he parachuted and landed on Lihou. He landed on Lihou in the time of the occupation, so Germany was actually in charge of Guernsey. Apparently he walked across the causeway and then went and knocked on someone's house. He walked through a field with mines in, and then also past a German bunker to get to a property. I think they kept him quiet all night in their house, but in the morning they had to phone the police, and the German turned up and arrested him. And then I believe he was sent to a concentration camp for the rest of the war. Here we have a wrasse with a parasitic isopod. They're called Analicora frontalis. It's almost everything I look at now looks like the shape of a plane. Even the stipes, which are these long trunks, I suppose, of the seaweed, look like they've got grey stuff on, so it looks like a piece of metal. Look at this, notice it from miles away. There's a humongous ormer under this rock. get some light on it. This is a really old big one. They only grow to about 140 mil, and this one ain't far for 140 mil. There's also one to the right as well. As these were almost completely fished out, there's really tight regulations with these things. You can only catch them on certain tides at the start of the year. Even being caught with one of these in your hand under the water, you can get arrested and then get a huge fine. And if you're diving for them, you get your dive gear taken off you and also your boat. Look at this one, it's so large, the shell on it's falling apart. PC David Archer earned himself a place in the annals of crime detection by becoming the first British law officer to pull off an underwater arrest in 1969. Used to enjoy eating ormers when I was a child, but in my mid-20s I then developed an allergic reaction to ormers, and one day I had one in the evening and then it looked like I'd had a stroke, so I don't eat them anymore. I got really excited when I first seen this, and then I realised round about now I know exactly what I'm looking at. This is a neck out the inside of a crab pot. It's made out of plastic. I was kind of hoping it was like a wheel rim off of a plane or the end of a radial cylinder on an engine. Still having a look though. This really is a needle in a haystack, especially with all this weed growing. I'm just going to return to the surface. I've changed direction now. I was going north to south, now I want to go east to west. So I just want to return to the surface and get a bearing on my compass so I know which direction I'm going to swim in. Yet more stuff that looks like metal. I could have sworn this was a piece of metal, but it's not. It's just a grey rock with a lot of growth on it. Here you can see I found a wing. Nah, only joking. It's just a rock that looks like a wing. After a quick 5 minutes on the boat, we're back in the water again. There's been a couple of marks or shapes they've seen on their depth finders, so me and Phil jumped back in again to see what it is. There's an ormer shell, the mother of pearl, iridescence.
Getting you at the wheel.
We didn't find it this time, but don't worry, we'll be back in a month's time.
When he had the drone, the guys were standing in the drone. Oh, you had the drone, the cables here, and it was
Down this part of the island, which is the most southwesterly part of the island, at Fort Pezaries, this is how they get most of their boats off the beach. I've got to say, for me this is one of the easiest ways. All our dive gear's in the little tender. Basically this gets taken to the top of the beach, then taken out, put into a pickup truck, and then driven up to where our cars are parked in the car park. Look at this thing, even though it's rusty, still good. Got to say a massive thank you to Zebda Nuri, Shane Bronte and Wayne Bronte for being able to take us out and look for this plane. Just hope we find it next time.
This is what we need downtown. Pretty much delivering our dive gear to our trucks.